After having recorded this video once and then noticing that the sound was not recorded, this is the second take, which isn't very delightful. This is the question paper of the IGCSE International GCSE English Language B. This is the wrong variant, although this is a regional paper. Let's just stick to a paper. I got this one over here. It's the same paper, but most of you who's sitting for the IGCSE English Language B, it's going to be your subject code is 4EB1/01. The regional paper is probably I don't know. It's just a different variant of the paper. Some say it's a little bit difficult. I guess that does stand true when it comes to the mathematics B and further math papers. They're really difficult when it comes to the regional variant. But hey, English is easy. It doesn't really make a difference. Okay. Wow, I was feeling a little exhausting, but let's just go very quickly. You'll be given three different sections. The first section is section A, which is a reader's effect question. What am I saying? Which is a reading section, right? Section B is going to be the reading and writing question, and they'll be giving you something over here that you have to write. All right. And then section C is the creative writing section. It'll give you an essay or a story to write, and it has 30 marks. Section B was also 30 marks. By the way, this whole paper is 100 marks. You'll have 100 marks to score, and the mark boundaries are something like 70 something. You gotta get it like a 70 for an A star or something. Say 71. A is probably given like at 60 or something. Mid 57 or 56. I don't know. 60 is like an A. 65 something is like an 8, which is also an A star, and 70 above is 9, which is the highest grade you can get. Okay, what I wanted to do is I made a very detailed video, but none of the voice was recorded, unfortunately. So I'll be going through this very quickly because I lost all energy. It's not my fault. First, what we're gonna go through is we're gonna go through the assessments, the assessment objectives that the Edexcel curriculum has when it comes to English. So this is the assessment objectives for the IGCSE English language B. There are 5 or 6 5 assessments. We're gonna go very quickly what those assessments are. My laptop is running out of charge. Well, that's not a good thing. Just plug the charger in. Ta-da! Okay. The first assessment objective is reading. Reading and understanding. Now, this is very important. This is the bare minimum that you must have to be able to do. Read. You gotta be able to read, and you gotta be able to understand. And reading has a few things here. You need to be kind of a little bit fast when it comes to reading, because there's a lot of content. So this is not the examination has 3 hours to finish. And most of the time we hear stories where candidates were not able to finish it. It was exhausting. Some questions were incomplete. Some questions were rushed. This is a very common scenario, although I personally didn't face it. That's one of the reasons, because I read a lot. I'm a fast reader and I write fast. You need to be really fast when it comes to reading. Some of us, now as sad as it is, not all of us have the same reading skills. It's not your fault, although it's kind of your fault. Why didn't you read? But again, it's not your fault. Different people have different reading speeds. And so the least you can do is just read it as fast as you can. You have a different level. You kind of need to do your best. And the worst part is if you read and you don't understand a thing, then you probably need to be, you need to go back to playgroup or something, kindergarten, right? Because all these questions, if you've seen the paper, There are writer's effect questions. The writer is going to be using different devices and words. And if you don't understand what the hell those means, you really can't really make any points and you're not going to get the marks. So reading is crucial, understanding is vital. So that is the first assessment that they're going to be, that you need to be aware of. And you'll be reading a wide spectrum of texts. Wide spectrum or varieties of texts. Now, I'll show you what it is. And this is where we're going to go into the text a little bit more. The first two questions are called the simple retrieval questions. They are, I like to call them the distractors. In many questions, you're going to see there are MCQs and there are going to be 4 options. 3 of them are wrong. They're the distractor questions. You're most likely to arrive to those answers if you make a silly mistake and only one of them is correct. Those 3 questions are distractors. They're there to waste time. This question here is just 1 mark. If you waste time here, you're going to lose time and you're not going to be able to finish. The big markers, like the 10 mark question over here, which is the writer's effect question. In the reader's effect question, in the simple retrieval questions, you're going to be literally given the answer. That go over here, the answer lies within this range, and you're going to find that and you're going to paraphrase and write it on your own words. Do not try your best not to copy the answers and do not write 1-word answers. They will not give you marks. Don't write 1-word answers. This is 1 marker. I know you got to save time, but don't make this kind of sacrifices where in order to save time you lose marks. That's not a really wise sacrifice, do you? Is it? No, not really. Then we come to the writer's effect questions. This is question 3. Question 1, 2, and 3 are for text 1, and you will be given 2 texts in your question. This is like an extract booklet. You'll be given this separately. You'll have this on so you'll have 2 different booklets. The answer booklet, which is on top, this whole thing, and this is going to be your question booklet. And you'll be given beautiful 2 texts. All right. And these texts are going to have similarities. Text 1 and text 2 are going to have similarities, but they're going to be differences as well. The topics are going to be very similar. The writers are going to be different. And the writing style is going to be different. This is where the objective 2 and 3 come into play. But we're going to go into that later. And you need to read these few texts. Don't read all of them don't read the 2 texts at the same time. Read text 1, do question 1, 2, 3, and then read text 2. Then you do question 4 and 5. So you guessed it right. Question 4 and 5 are going to be for text 2. Again, simple retrieval question. Read the text 2. Simple retrieval question, but this 5th question has 2 marks. This is almost all the time. It's the same thing. So again, it's the same thing. 2-line, just 1-line answers over here. Boom, 2 marks. The simple retrieval questions have a total of 5 marks. Question 1 and 2 are 1 each. 2 and 5 is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5, unless my math is wrong. So there you go, 5 marks. And then you have question 6, which is the writer's effect question for text 2. Now, although this is irrelevant for this particular video, it's important when I say varieties of text, because sometimes, you see, read this question. How does the writer present his ideas to the travelers? And read that question. How does the writer describe? The present and describe are 2 different things. They asked you to write 2 different things. So the format the format you're going to be using to write these answers are going to vary. The marking points are going to be very different. Different analogies and descriptions are going to be different. And our objectives here are completely different. Here we're going to be focusing on how the writer describes his emotions and whatnot, what kind of words does he use, his choice of vocabularies, how does that link to his emotions and whatnot, and where's the present question. We're going to see how does he actually present. Is it beautiful? Is it structural? Does it show credibility? How is he doing it? Is it friendly? Whatnot, right? This is where we're going to be putting emphasis on, and this shows that different texts have different writing styles and formats that you have to figure out when you read the question and also when you see the text. So there's this variety of text that you have to be familiar with when it comes to reading and understanding. And then, not only that, you would also have to relate. Or is it bold? You would have to relate to the information. Information. And interpreting Interpreting. Where am I making mistakes? The ideas and perspectives that the writers are trying to perspective comments, you can say comments or understanding. Some people like to call it understanding. I like to call it understanding. Very important, very, very important, I must say. Very important. Well, the thing is, it's very important that you read, that you, first of all, you understand. If you do not understand a particular comment, a phrase that the writer is saying, you won't be able to kind of like nudge the other meanings out of it. Can you? You won't be able to do that now, can you? So you need to understand it. Then you have to kind of scoop up that information, relate it, interpret it, and give the perspective comments. Very important. Now, the perspective comments could be the reason I say it's so important is that it shows your level of understanding. There are three students. One did not give any perspective comment. The other one gave some perspective comment. The third one literally wrote the entire 2 lines regarding the perspective comments of his or her. 3 different students read the same thing. 3 of them understood a completely different thing. 3 of them wrote a completely different thing. And their marks are going to be different as well. If you don't understand what the writer said, especially when it comes to different words, and this is linked with assessment objective 4, I believe, I think, reading, yes, 4. I'm gonna go. Ow, my laptop. We're gonna go into that as well. But if you don't understand those words and whatnot, your perspective comments are simply not gonna make sense. So understand. That's gonna be that. Assessment objective 2 suggests that you would need to analyze what the hell you need to those analytical type questions. You need to be able to analyze those kind of questions. Analyze. What the hell am I doing? Anna, you need to be able to analyze or analysis type questions. Now, what are you going to be analyzing? Well, you're going to be analyzing linguistics, language, use of vocabs. What the hell happened there? You're going to be using structural devices, figures of speech, so on. Devices are very important. This is all the kind of things this is like the main thing the writer is going to be using it throughout his text, and you're going to be scooping those devices out and kind of describing them, why he used it, how he used it, and what effect does he achieve from using that. That is exactly what we're going to be talking in this particular assessment. Why he uses it, the whys, what effect. Remember, the writer uses every choice of his vocabulary has an agenda. He wants to persuade you. He wants to convince you. He's up to something. We don't know he's up to something. Well, we have to know what he's up to something. He's up to something. How does he achieve that effect? Is it some devices are gonna provoke your emotions? Some devices are gonna make you think. Some devices are going to make you question and wonder. Some devices are gonna make you feel welcome. Some devices are gonna make you feel like a little rat. Where the writer is going to be showing that he's the only credible. He's the boss. He's the king. To build credibility, to show authority. And when somebody shows authority, you submit yourself and you listen to them. These are the effects that he's going to achieve. And you would have to read those kind of devices and say, well, the writer uses this particular device. The use of the device does this, and it puts this effect on the reader, so on and so forth. The assessment objective 3 is the exploration of languages. Of language. Plus perspective. Again, this comes again. Again, we have done perspective, understanding, and comments. Both are linked together. Now, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you one of the mark schemes, just random mark schemes. And there you go. This is exactly what I'm trying to do. This is what we're actually doing. This is the assessment we're going through. And there you go. Explore links and connections between. This is exactly what we're doing. But now I'm writing this out. But I'm going to show you something. This is what I'm going to show you. There are, for writer's effect questions, there are 5 levels which they give you marks for. Now, we're going to pretend, for the sake of professionalism, level 1, 2, and 3 does not exist because they are the worst. If you are in level 1, no offense, you should not be giving English exam. Just joking. Because this is the category of people who barely can communicate. They're like little toddlers. They can't communicate. Basic identification, little understanding of language. Who are those people? Well, there are some people. I'm sorry. I don't want to belittle anyone. I'm just saying that even if you're amongst them, you can't be one of them. We have to reach level 5, and you have to have that mentality that you are someone who deserves marking levels. You're someone who deserves a level 5 position. So again, if you see something, for the sake of just this video, you're going to see that some understanding of common of language. The level, this is out of 10 marks, by the way. And this is the objective assessment to understand analysis how language uses linguistic structure and devices. That is exactly what we just said. Well, it is taken from the Edexcel's assessment, so it's going to be the same either way. But level 3 is where, this is where most of the students are stuck. They get a 5, and that's like the lower bound of this range. Clear understanding and explanation of language and structure and how these are used by the readers, including use of vocabularies and sentence structure. What is the problem? The section the references are relevant and points are being made. It's incomplete, and it's not like it's there are more to be said, and they don't really talk about it. Level 4 is thorough understanding and explanation of language and structure and how this is used by the writers. Again, you're saying, okay, the writer uses this, why he used it, because of this, what is he trying to get to? He's trying to persuade the readers. You're giving the facts. And you're also talking about the vocabulary. Okay, his choice of vocabulary is unique. He's describing cookies with the word, I don't know, scrumptious. The word scrumptious means delicious. You're describing those words, and that's exactly what the examiners like to see. Sentence structures and language features. The selection reference is detailed. There we go. Fully, and it's being full supports and points being made. So most of the students are stuck over here, which is not a bad level. But again, for the sake of professionalism and perfection, we're going to pretend none of these exist. So the only target there is to aim for is level 5. Now, what makes level 4 and 5 different? Notice perspective understanding. This word was not mentioned over here. There is no such as perspective understanding. Analysis of language. We saw exploration of language. Somebody who's saying, okay, this word is used for that word is used for that. There you go. That's exploration of language, being able to explore what the language is, like the difference between the two. But very few can go into analysis and kind of nitpick the deep meanings or the metaphorical meanings and hyperphorical meanings and whatnot. Very few people can do that. That's exactly what would distinguish between a level 4 and level 5 student. And notice perspective understanding has been this is the very first point. That's the first marking point that they're talking about. If you can't read and understand, perspective comments or understanding is an alien to you. You will never be able to do anything over here. And that is a problem. Being able to read and understand and give a perspective comment that is both appropriate and relevant. I say appropriate because I've seen a lot of students write perspective comments that are, let's just say it's, I'm going to give a sigh over there. It's not the best writing style. Like, make sure it's appropriate, make sure it's relevant, and most importantly, make sure it's not contradicting what the writer says. Say the writer says he's in a good mood and he's describing that good mood with a phrase. You use that phrase, and you, Mr. Shakespeare Ultra Pro Max, you turn that into a negative thing, and you're saying the writer uses this to convey a negative emotion. That's going to be internal conflict, and that's going to lose you the marks. The marks are going to go away. So make sure whatever perspective comment you're doing, don't get carried away and just say stuff that doesn't make sense and doesn't really go with what the writer is trying to say. Your points must be appropriate, relevant, and correct. You need to hit all these 3 bullet points: appropriate, relevant, and correct. The selection of references is discriminating. This is the word that I love. You're going to see, if you guys are doing O-levels, whoever is doing O-levels, you're going to see there are some math exams, the further math or mathematics B, and these the very first question is so easy. It's like 3x squared, x, the value of x is 2, find the value. It's so easy. Everybody's going to be able to do it. But the last questions seemed like they were sent by God, and these questions were locked up in a chain in hell. Something like they are so hard. Those are the discriminating questions. Not everybody's going to be able to achieve. Some are going to attempt. Some are going to skip. Some are not going to, after the exam, they're going to be like, there was a question 10. I didn't know that. But very few are going to attempt, solve, and get it right. Those are the discriminating questions. The selection of references is discriminating. It's going to discriminate. It's going to clearly show the difference between a level, a band, a grade 9 student and grade 7 student. No way will a grade 7 student be able to describe a word or particular phrase in that detail, which a grade 9 student would be able to do. That's why it's called discriminating. And it clarifies the points being made. This is the level that is most difficult to achieve. Definitely, we're not going to be going to that level at the very start when you write. It's like a pool experience. You're in a bathtub with a little water. The water is up to your ankle. You're splashing with a rubber ducky. That's where you begin. But slowly but surely, writing and seeing answers and whatnot, you have to be able to You have to be able to swim in the ocean. You have to reach that level. How do we do it? Again, the more you read, the more you see the solutions to answers and whatnot, how teachers write it, how students have written it, and how examiners mark it, you're going to get the gist of it. So, using this, since it has all the stuff, it was a hard time for me recalling all that from my memory. Assessment 3 is explore links and connection between writers' ideas and perspective and how well they're conveyed. This is crucial. Yep, this is not exactly the one. This is actually the one that comes after it. Assessment 4. Thank you, mock scheme. Saved my butt. There you go. Now, this is very crucial because um, this is where we link to question 7. Question 7 is the compare. I'm not going to go to the question paper anymore. It's the compare question. Two texts. You have two texts, and definitely text 1, 2, 3 are going to be on the basis of text 1. Question 1, 2, 3 is going to be based on text 1. Question 4, 5, 6 is going to be based on text 2. Question 7 is the one that merges all those together. You need to use all the points and answers you made, all the understandings all the information you've gathered and your understandings to merge them together and talk how the both texts are different and same at the same time, how they both convey the same thing but the way they say it is different, their intent, their ways of delivering the message and their audience are different. You need to be able to link those connections between, and this is the most hardest part in the paper. Writers effect question, if writers effect questions weren't worse, question 7 seems to be eating up students alive and frying their brains because I'm not gonna lie, it's difficult to find points that both texts talk about, but then at the same time, they're like same, but different. Both of them same, but there has to be a different to be able to make that particular point a marking point, something to write about. And again, the more you do it, the better you're gonna get at it. Assessment 4 says communicate efficiently and imaginatively. It's very important. Imaginatively, adapting form, tone, register, and writing specific purpose and audience. This is where section B comes into play. B and C. Mostly B and C. Yeah, it's the same. So you'll be, for section A, assessment 1, 2, 3 plays out quite well. Section B is where assessment 4 comes into play. And this is where it's important. If you notice, I'm going to copy this whole thing so I don't have to go back. Let's open the paper again. I'm just gonna go to question B, section B. Notice, think carefully about the purpose and the letter of the if letter, audience, and the audience. Purpose and audience. The examiners know students like to mess up the audience and register. It's very common. They're gonna give you a letter for your friend, and all of a sudden you sound like Mr. Shakespeare. It's unnatural. And even worse, you're given a formal letter to your principal, and all of a sudden you're like, "Yo, principal sir, what's up?" You completely got the tone wrong. You got the register wrong. Guess what? You're gonna get the marks. You're gonna lose the marks, right? So it's really bad. You have to have a really and adapting form. You gotta come in a form. You have to see what form it is. Your tone has to match. Your register has to match. And your audience, you're talking to a toddler, say. You can't be telling him y is equal to mc squared or right for why is that value. You're gonna traumatize that kid. There are many cases where you're given a speech. You have to talk to you have to give a speech to a school program with kids. There you have to kind of lower your tone in a lighthearted, make jokes, make using puns and whatnot to keep your audiences engaged. If you are speaking and nobody likes that speech, guess what? They're gonna go. They're gonna get off the chair and they're gonna walk away, or else they're gonna throw shoes at you. Get the tone right. The last assessment is clear. Write clearly. Range of vocabularies and sentence structures with appropriate paragraphing, accurate spelling, grammar, and punctuation. Crucial, 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 crucial. Crucial. Section C. This is a direct reference to Section C. Section C is creative writing, as you can see, where they're going to give you three things. The first one is probably this is like an argumentative essay. They're going to tell you, do you agree with this? To what extent do you agree? Give us all the things you know. Now, this is a particular question which some of the students in my school love writing because they're into debates and whatnot. They are very annoying. They love to make arguments with me and other teachers. They enjoy this kind of stuff. This is actually this is the type of question some people like to enjoy. They like to write and they enjoy it. I personally don't like it. I never wrote in my own exam. I don't suggest this to write for you guys to write it, but I'll definitely suggest know how to write it if you wish, if you want to write it, write it. It's just an annoying question. I mean, the other two are beautiful. They're like gems. Question 9 is like a narrative writing, and this is like a descriptive writing. These two are easy to write. But again, I'm just saying what's gonna come. What you write is your own will. You can choose which one you will like, definitely, and it's 30 marks, so very, very important. Now, the thing is, very importantly, I must say, when it comes to question 10, like the essays and whatnot, if you're given a title, make sure your writing is on the basis of the title and not just some random crap. Too often I see students they write a beautiful story, first of all. I must admit, some of the stories are very beautiful. They're writing in plus and whatnot. They're really good. But their text has nothing to do with the title, and that is the problem. You see, if the examiners see that you have written a beautiful text, they're gonna give you the marks for your writings and whatnot. But if it does not go with the content, you're gonna lose marks from the content section. There is like, I'm not gonna get into the marking thing, it's really annoying. There is this one part where 10 marks just for content, and if you get the title wrong, like if your text doesn't match the title, you're not gonna get marks much. You're gonna lose a lot of marks. And the worst thing is, and it's actually good, and it's a common thing, common sense. Make sure the title has been incorporated in your text at least once. And there are some idiots, no offense, some idiots, they think they're super smart. They force this title somewhere in the text. That doesn't even make sense. The examiners are smarter than them, though. They know that they just randomly put this word in so that, they can't say, well, quote, I did not give the title in the text. They know that, and you're going to lose marks. So don't do that. Make sure you plan through your section C. Section C and section C are important that you plan through them because these are creative writing. And the described question is also nice. It's a descriptive writing, so you need to do a lot of descriptions and whatnot. I'm not going to go into how you write them. This video is it's not meant for that, but I'm just telling you. And over here, you're gonna get to choose anyone. Make sure you choose the right one. You get it wrong, you can pen through it and choose the right one. Say if you chose 9 and you're like, nah, I want to write 10, you cut that and you go to 10. But then you're like, oops, I want to write 9. You're cooked. You can't really do that anymore. Womp womp. Anyways, that is the last assessment. Clear rightly. Now, another thing I'm going to mention, and I'm going to end. I'm dying right now. The range of vocabularies. Now, vocabulary is a word that is thrown around little. I think it's thrown around carelessly. People are like, well, vocabularies means big words like pneumono, ultra, micro, something obnoxiously big. That is not true. The range of vocabularies this also means you also use proper synonyms. there are, I'm gonna give this very, I say this all the time, I'm so tired. Is somebody calling me? Nobody's calling me. And there are hundreds and thousands of people giving exams, and in the exam, everybody's gonna be. It's very difficult. That very few people, a handful of people, shine in the exam. It's difficult that you keep your wits about. Not everybody's gonna be using something that stands out. Everybody's gonna be saying the orange sky, the cold winter. I'm just giving an example. I can't really think of anything right now. You need to be standing. The examiner is gonna ask, well, what did you write? Why do you stand out? What did you write that makes you different from others? Why do you think I should give you a 9? It's the use of different words, things that nobody in the exam hall is gonna be they won't come up with this kind of stuff. Like, who the hell has time like in the exam? They're like, oh, another word for winter is, I don't know, frost, cryo, blitzer. Like, nobody's gonna think about it. You need to be the person who thinks about those kind of redundant things. It's a use of big vocabularies. It's just saying things in a different way. It's just a synonym that you've probably heard, but you never really thought about it. These things can be lifesavers, and they could give you those 1 or 2 marks. I must say, it's probably going to be for next video. The grade boundaries for English is disgusting. It's forgiving, but it's disgusting at the same time. Because just a mark or two less, you can get a B. Just you didn't get 1 mark, you made a silly mistake. Guess what? That mark is the only reason why you did not get a 9. So the mark boundaries are very sensitive. So there is no room for mistakes. You make a mistake, it's going to cost you a grade, and it's probably going to ruin your life. It's not going to do. I'm just saying it. There are some students who are crazy about grades, but get this right. And there is this one thing, and we say this all the time. We make an acronym: sentence structure, paragraphing, accurate spelling, and grammar. SPAG. Our teacher taught us this, and it's a really beautiful thing. And I think SPAG has like what, 15 marks or something. I don't remember, 15, 18 marks. I have to see. Again, the marking thing is a little different. I'll show you how they're marked. Although that's not really that necessary. Just do your best, write the best thing in the exam. Let the marking be. Let the examiners give you the marks. But the SPAG is really important. Sentence structure, punctuation, accuracy, and grammar. Don't be that guy who writes I am good in grammar. It's the worst thing, right? You need to have proper grammar. Your punctuation has to be real. Punctuations are really important. Punctuations, punctuations. I think I got the spelling wrong. Yep, I did. Like, use everything you have. Like, anything, everything you learned, use them. Use them. Don't hide those things. Like, whatever you know, just let it out. The examiner, you have to show it to the examiners. Punctuations are very crucial, but don't use them in the wrong place. Then you're gonna lose marks. If you don't write this punctuation, you're not going to get marks. But if you write them in the wrong place, you're going to lose marks. So make sure you don't do either of them, right? So that's crucial as well. And the accuracy is how well you get these things right. I could have done this video a little bit more. It could have been better, but hey, I'm dying. Probably this video is intended for the new lads who are into this English exam. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into. No idea whatsoever. I hope this helps. At least you know what you're signing up for, what this 1 year is going to be for you guys. The exam is quite easy. People think you need to be Mr. Genius, Mr. Shakespeare of 2025, Mrs. Shakespeare. You need to spit, like, I don't know, Bible verses. That's not the case. I've seen people with terrible English, terrible accents, getting like 9s. It has nothing to do with how well you speak, how good your English is. It's just understand what the examiners want, what are the marking points. Just keep implementing and putting all, just kind of like writing the things you're supposed to write. Be good at it. Be consistent. And guess what? The grades are gonna come, and you're gonna get really good grades. Don't worry about it. People make a big fuss about English, and I don't know why. But I hope this helps. Probably we will make another video where we talk about the marking schemes, how they mark section A, B, C, and we will see if time allows. Till then, take care.